with that momentum now moving forward. Complexity Gaming coming into this series with a 2-1-1 record themselves, currently at 7 points, as we see here. So this is how things currently lie. Again, still a lot of room, a lot of matches to be played across the board, but definitely getting a little bit better of an idea how things could be looking. And, well, honestly, it's still pretty even overall, so we'll have to wait and see by the later part of tomorrow, ultimately. But this is definitely another big matchup here. I'm joined by Regrosta once again as my co-caster. Welcome back, man. Welcome back.
Good to be back.
Yeah, recovered after that crazy finish there.
Great finish.
That was a lot of fun to watch. All right, so we got this one, though. Let's take a look at what we're dealing with. We got the initial bands: Midas, Clanks, Magnus, and Tremble coming out. Parasite into Behemoth, Doctor into Riptide, and Warbeast into Tempest for Complexity. So I know Complexity's been picking up a lot of profit lately, you know, even in the earlier picks, but they pass that up here. They go Tempest instead, their third pick. So what do we think of this lineups here?
Yeah, I mean, so far ECX only has one Superior Tempest cancel, so not really sure what else they'd pick up. But yeah, they just banned Deadwood. I was going to say Deadwood's kind of the other one, so the other pretty good one, and then they know they like to run. So yeah, they banned out really the rest of the Superior cancels in Moira, Antro, Deadwood. So Tempest could be pretty good this game, but I also really like ECX's draft. Parasite, Doctor, Warbeast, 3 really strong heroes.
See the bands finishing up here as Prophet, Moira, Puppet Master, Andromeda, Magebane, and Deadwood. So yeah, as we're talking about the Prophet, sure enough there. Myrmidon being right-clicked. Now, there is an interesting thing to this, is that we saw yesterday, Sync, in those grand finals against Complexity of the Time to Win tournament, they actually ran Myrmidon both of those games, and it ended up helping lead them to victory in that series. We said Zibe even had him on after, and even he was a little surprised at the pick, but it ended up working. It proved to be a pretty good one, so maybe ECX saw that and is like, hey, it worked against them with Sync. Well, let's try it ourselves. I wonder if that's going through their head here. All right. Well,
Yeah, almost.
we almost got there, but they go Glacius in the end. Maybe a little bit of a takeaway pick, too, because that would have been pretty good for Complexity here, actually.
Yeah, if they wanted to keep with the theme of big AoE ultis, Glacius is definitely good for that as well. Yeah, that's kind of the last big AoE ulti supporter. I mean, there's like Torture and Voodoo Jester, so Voodoo's always a good hero to see, so especially against the Parasite.
There's
And Warbeast,
Gravekeeper.
actually. I wish.
Yeah,
They don't listen to me.
no. Gravekeeper would be fun to see, but yeah, Gravekeeper seems like more of a farminger anyways. Monarch coming out instead.
It makes me laugh.
Why is that?
It's just when I TM him with love, he picks the hero and just runs in with the W max level and just keeps telling everyone that it's max so they know they won't die. It's just funny.
Inside jokes, got it.
Yeah.
Naturally, the response is to pick up Pandemonium for ECX
What?
here.
Alrighty.
Don't know where that's coming from. Is this a middle contester, maybe? Is this them saying we're going to match up against the Riptide here with a Pandemonium? I mean...
I mean, it can cancel Tempest with the Cannonball, so, I mean, there's that factor. But yeah, it's going to go one-on-one against Riptide, I'm assuming, so I would definitely give that edge to Riptide, but yeah, that's interesting. I mean, if they picked it for this, the Tempest cancel, then yeah, it's a good pick, but I just don't know if it's going to be effective against the Riptide.
Yeah, you know, if there was like a Swift Blade over here or something, obviously something like a Pandemonium, you could say, okay, well, yeah, the physical, the face smash, that's definitely good synergy there, or a good idea of the hero to be able to go up against a hero like a Swift Blade, but yeah, nothing really screams that style over here. I don't know, was the Monarch? I mean, that was very quickly after the Monarch they did that, so I wouldn't think that it was in response to a Monarch. It kind of like, it's almost like they were planning with it from the beginning here. Silhouette is the final pick for Complexity eventually to come out, but The Pandemonium, no doubt, is going to be the focus here. This is a tri-core lineup over here for ECX, definitely, too. It looks like Embry is going to be the one playing it. Imba Boy gets his hands on, of course, Dr. Repulsor here. I'm intrigued to see this Pandemonium and what he's able to bring. He does a lot of physical. He is a lot of physical burst with his skill set. That's definitely certain.
I mean, with another hero, I mean, they can kill Riptide. I'm assuming he will get the Rev Ward because otherwise he will 100% lose mid. So I'm assuming he'll get a Rev Ward to compete with this Riptide. But yeah, I mean, if he gets a Roam at like level 4, I mean, they could kill Riptide. Surprisingly, Panda does a lot of damage. I think his W reduces, it's -4 armor at level 2. So at level 4, they have a lot of kill potential.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it definitely do. Pandemonium, he is an interesting hero, too, because he has that, the earlier on history, most famously known for those Han competitive scene. Anyways, people that have been around the Han scene for a while.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of some fancy word, and I'm just like, why am I doing this? The point is, the Fnatic MSI days, the trial lane that they ran, of course, Pandemonium was one of the first ones that started popping up in that fly at the time, known for playing it in the midst of that, and was fun to watch there. And I honestly didn't even mean to do this, but it's funny I bring up the name Fly, No-Tell as well, and Moon Meander. I'm saying those three names because big congratulations to those guys. They actually just officially won the ESL, the Frankfurt Majors, over there in Germany for Dota 2. And they took home, it was like $1.1 million prize pool or something like that. This is basically outside of the international, it's the biggest Dota 2 event of the year, I'm pretty sure. So, on a somewhat newly formed team, from my understanding, called Original Gangsters. So, congratulations to those guys.
Doesn't surprise. Moon Mander
right.
being on a team called Original Gangsters.
I know, it's so fitting.
Works out so well.
Yeah. No, but obviously those three players, especially Moon Meander, have a lot of history in Han. So always fun to keep an eye on how they're doing. And, of course, it's hard to ignore the fact that they, again, just won that much money. You can call it a rival game, sure, but, again, this game came from the roots of Dota. And obviously we have a lot of players that developed into the Dota 2 players over there. So it's fun to keep an eye on them, and again, with a major victory like that. So I doubt any of them are tuning in right now by any means, but congratulations to those guys.
If they are.
For sure. If they, just in the very slight chance that they happen to be, they finished up winning the tournament, they're like, you know what, I want to turn on some Honcast. Watch some Han. It's possible. They could have done that. Wouldn't surprise me. All right, but anyways, enough about them. We got this Han tour here. Continuing, we got Oscar reconnecting to the game. So
shout out to Bolivian Internet.
Yep. Something have to go through time to time here. But it looks like at least he's coming back. I know there was that one day where you had to step in even because he was having those issues there.
Yeah.
Had to go to
I don't want to speak of that game ever again.
And then he had to face the deadlift, and then things just went great from there. Oh, another timeout, unfortunately. As far as our schedule looks, guys, let me pull that up here while we're dealing with this real quickly. So you see on your screen, we got the first two series taken care of. We got Evo Corporation versus Complexity here. Bad Monkey Gaming versus Nightmare Knights happening at the same time. So we'll poke into that one, see how that's doing. And in fact, while we're in this break, I might as well check it. But Fresh versus BMG will be the final match that we look to cover here. Complexity also going to be taking on Nightmare Knights, of course, as well at the same time. So this is what we're looking at as far as the remaining schedule here for today. But taking a look at the other game that's going on in game here, we see BMG versus Nightmare Knights, and looks like they're just getting started. So nothing too much to tell here just yet. The lineups, Clanks versus Silhouette as far as carries go. So we'll see how that one looks up. But Nightmare Knights, of course, coming off an 0-2 loss here to Fresh in their previous series. So they're playing every single time slot here this weekend. Again, they've only played the one series leading up to today. So they get to play a lot of Han here.
Yeah, that's a lot of Han to play. I mean, just playing two series in one day is even draining in a lot of ways. Mm-hmm. And then when you have to play 6 in a matter of 2 days, Oh, it's hard. It's very, very hard.
Yeah, I can imagine. I'm sure it's somewhat draining, but that's just how it worked out for them. Unable to make the previous days here, being new to Diamond, got to make it work. With that said, too, it also makes it even a little more impressive in my mind that now I will see how it plays out today and tomorrow, but if they're able to have the same 5 players for all those matches, that's going to be good to see that they're able to commit to that. But I know that, with so many matches over these couple of days, it wouldn't be surprising if they happen to need a ringer for whatever situation. But so far, they're running with their main 5 here, which I think gives them their best chance to.
Yeah, definitely.
To win here. Is he still not back? It's like he's connecting, but it's not.
Last time he timed out, he got stuck at the 37%. Is he even online? No, he's not.
Uh-oh.
He's probably restarting his internet. No, yeah, he just logged back on. So.
Okay.
I'd say probably restarting his internet. Hopefully, not having the same Balthazar problem.
Oh God. Well, at least this
at least
game.
at the start this time.
Yeah. Literally just starting. So a remake here, I think, would be understandable. I doubt the admin would sit here and say, "Oh, we must play on 4 versus 5."
But no one's seen anything.
Okay, so he's reconnected. As soon as he's back on Skype, we'll be good to go here. Let me switch the overlay, make sure that's good. There we go. Okay, so Pandemonium. He got some changes, I thought. He actually did he? God,
I believe he got quality of life changes.
Okay.
I think they did a couple of I don't remember exactly what it was, but I think the last ones were pretty just quality of life, just make the hero. They reduced some mana costs, I believe, and they did one other thing, but yeah, I don't think it was really hero change. It's just more of the quality.
Yeah, I'm looking through it, and yeah, it seems all pretty similar to what I remember it at least. I do think the mana cost decrease was something, as you pointed out, so a little bit of a buff there. His face smash, I know, a while back, of course, where you can no longer tablet teammates out of it, but you can tablet him, but not your teammates to try to save them, similar to Succubus and Devour. Those are all together. All right. Looks like we're finally good to go here. Kicking off game number 1, only a half hour late. No big deal.
I mean, it wouldn't be Han without it, right?
That's true. All right, here we go, though. Into the lanes. See ECX sending all 5 middle currently, making their way down here. We'll see where they end up. It seems like they could be taking an interesting path into the Hellborn jungle, and Complexity is actually... they're not full force by any means over here. You see Behemoth, he's already bought him. So if they're not careful, could get caught, but I don't think that's going to be happening. Monarch does place the ward of sight early. Gets the vision to spot it, if anything.
The other thing I wanted to point out before, if a fight happens right here, is they did pick Silhouette into a full team fighting team, which is a little interesting. There was other carry options up, but they chose a split pusher with this team fighting team, so...
Yeah.
Slightly interests me a little bit.
See how that pays off for them. Monarch, I want to go back to him. You mentioned maybe known for picking up in TMMs, but how do you like to see a Monarch leveled? Because he is interesting with a skill set. That new Noxious Nightcrawler. How would you prefer to see it leveled?
I do actually like seeing that W maxed. I mean, at level 7, it's just such high impact. So I do like seeing that maxed. I don't believe you actually you don't necessarily need your ulti at level 6. So I'm assuming he might go with this game because I think it takes off face smash from Panda. I think
the
ulti from Monarch.
Oh, the ultimate. Oh,
I believe it does take it away, and if it does, then we could see him leveling at 6. But he won't level it after that. He'll keep it there. So. Probably look to see 1 level into it, but I think it takes off Panda ulti. I think.
Huh. Okay.
But yeah. So I mean, we'll have to see. We'll have to keep an eye out for it.
Yeah. See if that's how the interaction actually works or not. Yeah, I wouldn't be too sure on that. I definitely don't know. We'll go with your word here for now and see if that's the case.
I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, maybe throughout this game here, but that also, even if that is the case, especially, it kind of makes the Pandemonium pick even that much more intriguing. Again, after the Monarch, kind of picking it up. But hey, it's here in the middle lane, as we mentioned. Now it is not a 1 versus 1. He does have Glacius here even with him. On top of that, the Water Revelation. So Fuzzy Sloth does need to be very careful here, actually. This is definitely a duo that could kill him. In this
Yeah,
battle, so.
that's what I was saying. Panda wouldn't do very well 1v1, but 2v1, a little bit better.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see if they are able to get in there and make something happen. I mean, maybe going to wait for something like that level 3. You do see Pandemonium gets the flick to start. I assume Cannonball is going to be the follow-up here just to give the highest kill potential. I know Flurry may be eventually maxed out for the sake of farming capability, but there we go. Yeah, there's a second into Cannonball.
You know.
Here we go.
Yeah.
There's the flick. There's the Cannonball. The freeze on top. No, he froze his teammate. That's a misclick. And now here comes the Haste of Tempest, actually. But they're a little too far away. So, yeah, that's unfortunate.
You know what? I'm allowed to flame Nier. He flamed me yesterday while What You Got was streaming, so I'm going to go ahead and flame him on that one. Maybe Panda might want to take off his
assist, yeah. Let's be honest, when is it realistically ever going to be a thing, getting frozen by Glacius? He might as well, honestly.
It's not very often, yeah. Exactly. It's actually needed. But the point I wanted to bring up about this mid lane is, when it is a 2v1, I don't think it's actually beneficial to place the Rev Ward, because now Riptide can actually pull the wave because he's seen. So it does kind of help him to actually have that Rev Ward in 2v1.
Huh. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I guess in the 1 versus 1, it's not as likely, but yeah, in the 2v1, there's a lot more of that pull coming out with that support constantly putting auto attacks into Riptide. I mean, you see he's level 4 right now, even. So he's managing to at least get levels, and that's what you can ask for here with Riptide. Is kind of.
He's gonna go take the small camp.
Jungle, you think so? Okay.
Yeah. So that's what they like to do when he gets dual laned mid. But yeah, I mean, it does. Yeah, it hurts them a little bit in the mid lane. Because in this case they actually can kill Riptide, so it's not a terrible idea. But yeah, I'm excited to see how this Panda builds. I do like seeing the max W first for the armor reduction. So we'll just have to see what he feels comfortable with.
Oh. Tempest losing. I just happened to catch him. I mean, I'm not going to hang on it too much, but lost one of his initial elementals there on the Vagabond leader camp, so a little bit of inefficiency coming out, but overall, what you got is doing pretty damn good here. 310 gold per minute. He does have the Blood Chalice on top of that refreshing ornament here. So the earlier on Astrolabe is going to be the item of choice, clearly. Coming out for him. Pandemonium, want to go back to him again. This is a hero, like I said, a skill set alone does provide plenty of potential for damage here. Being physical, he reminds me of like a Drunken Master, really, in that sense. A lot of just bursty physical damage that he can do. Kind of that snowball earlier on. So I feel like there's a couple of routes. Either something like a Helm of the Black Legion to kind of tank him up and where he still is able to do plenty of damage, or will it be something like a Soul's Bulwark maybe?
It's hard to judge because you rarely see pandas at this point. So, but I mean, I know because his ulti can be canceled so easily, he might just straight up rush his Shrunken Head in all honesty. Because then
True.
he'll be, other than the Tempest ulti, he's okay. And I mean, if we discover Monarch ulti does cancel it, so I mean, Shrunken would stop that as well if it does. So I'll just, I'd like to see the Shrunken maybe first item.
Actually, what about Nullstone? Because I know the idea of Nullstone on him is decent, especially since he uses a fair amount of mana.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, yeah, in terms of stuff that can cancel him, I mean, it's just Behe if he does, Behe and Silhouette if he does go Nullstone. So it's definitely an option. I mean, it's not a bad item on Panda. I think even back in the day we saw a lot of Nullstone on Panda.
Yeah. I believe that was kind of his go. I'm trying to think back to those Tri-Lane days. Obviously, that game has changed so much. So
that game doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, I really can't equal that. But Well, we'll see. We'll see what he does end up going. Yeah, I think the Nullstone could be a possibility, but we do see Monarch here as actually Doctor. Okay, he's just pushing up the lane. Farming it up, taking some harassment from Behemoth. They're going to be fine. Riptide's coming over, though. He goes through Kongor first. Pisses him off.
Oh,
and now he's going to find Doctor. Oh, he could have hit him first, though. Yes, he can. The sign's going to come out, and Doctor Repulsor. A couple of auto attacks is enough. Oh, it's not. The final one doesn't get off in time. And Doctor escapes. That silence just lasting a little too short there.
Yeah. If he would have had his steam boots there, that would have been a kill in all honesty. He was just missing that little extra attack speed. So, if he even would have bought the gloves of the haste before the bolstering armband, which I mean you should never do, but in this case it actually might have gotten him that kill.
Yeah. Just so happened he didn't have it yet though, and gang, you can't really wait in that case. That was the prime time. He had to go then, and he tried, and unfortunately just short. So,
Wow.
big for the Legion side. But yeah, how about that? Top lane, Formless, pushing in the top tower here.
That's a super early tower without Tempest help, so they must have just double stacked the wave, I'm assuming, with the pole camp. Just get a big wave going.
Yeah, Warbeast, Zane, you see. Oh, look at this Dr. Pulsar, by the way, taking a nice stack here. Nice enhanced farm for him. But yeah, Warbeast at the top lane. Again, not having the most farm. He is level 5, though, at least. So accomplishing quite a bit there. But clearly he is having a difficult time keeping the Silhouette at bay, especially with a Monarch partner. And as I was saying, too, I'm curious to see how Monarch is building. And he is avoiding the Chrysalis. He is going the 202 build.
Yeah,
currently.
okay. So, okay, I guess just more of the ward factor. He can get more lane wards up for this, for the Silhouette, keep him safe. Same with the mid lane. He's got one over there. So, yeah, I guess he's not going to go into the W. And I mean, against a Panda, that does interest me a little bit. Because, he reduced the damage, what, by 80% at max level? Yeah. I mean, Panda's going to do no damage to whoever he's ulting.
Yeah, that's... I had the same thought, and so that's why that alone is why I'm like, I don't know, actually. It's a nice job by Panda, by the way.
Ooh.
Pops the haste, and he steals what was just a refreshment rune from Riptide right there, and then he runs away with it, so good job by Panda. Again, using a skill set and what he happened to have wisely right there. But, yeah, even more than that, though, as bottom tower goes down, Parasite pushing it in. Kind of see, we've seen this transition here. Doctor's kind of taking over the jungle, and it seems like Parasite's now doing the lane thing. But the jump from Doctor, I mean, the burst up from a Parasite. Granted, against Parasite, it's a little dangerous, I guess, with the face hug. But still, I really think you could argue that the Chrysalis is probably ultimately just the 1 point alone. I think is warranted. So we'll see if he at least gets that coming up here or not. But if he doesn't get 1 point until he kind of needs to, then that's where I will be a little uneasy about that. But we'll see in these.
Yeah, and I mean,
on here.
Riptide didn't do too bad in this 2v1. I mean, he's got decent farm for the situation he was put in, so definitely good for him.
Silhouette, 450 gold per minute here. Speaking of Nullstone, that's well on the way for Formless. He's obviously accomplishing his farm quite well. As top lane, Doctor's up here with a double damage rune into Veiled Rot. They're scouting out with the Hellhounds. They're going to find Silhouette. Do they have the damage, though? Ulti Warbeast should be enough. Maybe.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Oh, the wolf just... okay, I thought the wolf's attacked. I guess not.
Here we go. There's the double damage. Here comes the ulti form, and there's the dead Silhouette. Yeah, it was definitely more than enough damage there. And that's a Bloodlust, actually. Wow. 10 minutes in.
Oh, late Bloodlust.
Yeah. That just hit me there. So, nice little bonus 200 gold, 10 minutes into the game. Not too shabby. Zane will take that, and Zane's actually 285 gold per minute now, especially after that Bloodlust kill. So, that actually shoots him up quite a bit. Good news there.
Yeah, definitely a good hero to get Bloodlust on. I mean, can cause a lot of problems with just a couple items, especially once he gets shrunken, so.
Yeah. Life tube on Pandemonium, by the way, so it still could be a couple of things. Like I was talking about the Helm of the Black Legion, the Nullstone, but it seems like that's going to be the route he goes.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Helm, but Yeah, it definitely could still be the null stone.
It probably comes down to just simply how active he thinks or wants to be earlier on. You know, if, the obvious being if he thinks or wants it's going to be more active sooner than the helm. If he thinks it's going to be a little bit of time before that happens, then get that null stone. Could make sense here. It's quite the about 2,000 gold difference or so, and this early on in the game, that could be a little bit. So we'll see what direction he goes here in the near future. It's, we should have our answer. But so far, he's been to the middle, and Riptide's also been middle pretty much for the most time. We did see that gank attempt bottom lane, of course, on the Dr. Pulsar right as he hit level 6. That came up short. That would have been the bloodlust kill, but unfortunately didn't connect. Thus, he's farming away now in the middle lane. He's actually managed to do all right, though. 320 gold per minute in what really has been a 2 versus 1. So he's actually done pretty good, man. Here in this middle. Nope.
Oh, okay. Well, this game, it makes sense. This game, he is against the Parasite, so
Yeah.
It makes sense, this game. And Monarch did go 1 point into W, so glad to see that.
Yeah, I am good at that's a good feeling. Good job, Love. Yeah, it's really too good to pass out for that 1 point ability of it. With especially the jump they have.
I mean, it's a 20% damage reduction. Oh, mid lane though. It looks like Riptide's about to slap the creep.
Oh yeah, his hand's ready
really
to go.
Funny. It just looks funny to me.
Does look funny. Yeah, he just got those Ock Buns as we were mentioning, but yeah, you got the Puzzle Box Parasite, which is currently level 1. So Parasite, by the way, he uses them right here. I don't know if he's going to try to. I guess he's thinking about maybe making a play down here on a Behemoth, maybe even push the tower in. The tower is getting pretty low, actually, so may try to make that happen as Behemoth is somewhat here backing it up, but yeah, you can tell he's definitely pushing it in.
The Stainer was picked up by the Panda, so he is going to go that Nullstone route.
All right. So again, that means a little more time maybe before they expect action to take place.
Yeah, and Impa Boy, he's been trying to gank a lot, and I mean, even with Silhouette dying, Silhouette's 450 GPM. He's going to have his Nullstone any second here, so little confused why they gave up bot lane so early to Impa Boy. I mean, now he's just been trying to gank, and he's really only got that 1 kill.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is again, they got the Tricore set up here, and it's like they're going to bank on Pandemonium, you know, being more of that farmer perhaps. Again, going the Nullstone here. Mentioning with Doctor, seems like he is roaming around a little bit earlier on. Now, granted, he has 355 gold per minute, so doing solid there, but definitely falling behind that hard carry of the Silhouette, who is that 450 GPM. The Nullstone is finished, and the Portal Key going to be next in line, I'm sure. So, middle lane, no, they're not going to go there. They're actually going to their Ancients. Now, these are seen by this Nightcrawler that's placed by Monarch, but Glacius is even going to use the Glacial Downpour. Pandemonium assists, so they're coming over. Doctor, actually, but he's going to get out. Yeah, they see this happening with the Wardasite mid. So they get most of them, but the last couple are going to be stolen by Complexity. Top tower, though, in the Legion's favor.
Zane's just doing his thing up here. He's been kind of left alone up here, so I'm not sure if that's going to come back to haunt this Complexity team later on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's 4th on the team with 320 gold per minute just about, basically. So absolutely is looking good all of a sudden. 1,700 gold saved up. Wonder what's on the mind here for Zane playing this War Beast. I think, again, a Soul's Bulwark especially seems like it would be really good for this team. Enhancing some good damage, but also preventing, you know, some of the Silhouette damage on top of that. So good all-around item to have. We'll see when and if he gets that, as the Glowstone on Dr. Repulsor is picked up. So the Icon coming along.
They might try to kill Zane up here. There's an Invis Monarch up here. If Zane shows himself. Doesn't look like he's going to, though, so.
Yeah, he's playing a little too far back. Too smart here. Not going to give that chance. Portal Key purchase on Tempest, but man, 15 minutes into a game, we're still a 1-0 hero kill. and that one hero kill happened at 10 minutes into this game. So I gotta say, I wouldn't have expected that. I mean, even looking at the lineups, it seems like both sides got some, good mobility, some early presence here. Yet that's not happening. There really hasn't been a lot of movement. So this isn't necessarily even because they haven't been trying. It's just they haven't. I mean, there hasn't been a lot of attempts here.
Yeah, I mean, the Legion team could be setting up a lot with this Panda, but I don't even believe Panda's ultied this game yet, so...
No.
They're content on just farming, and... I mean, they could... Riptide ulti bottom.
Well, so maybe this is a chance here now. However, Stealth Hunter does see one coming over. I think they're going to maybe see that Riptide. And Doctor should be able to get away before it connects. Yeah, he will. Parasite actually opens on a Behemoth in the background, but Tank Effect greedy right there. They will kill Behemoth the Mauler Explosion, but at what cost here? Down goes Parasite, freeze on a Riptide. Glacius is too far up, though. He can't jet away like the Doctor. Repulsor can. And speaking of that, the portal key on what you got. It catches Doctor. Do they have enough follow-up? The silence comes out, and yes, it will be enough for the kill. Riptide stays alive. The 3-for-1 is real in favor of Complexity. So it seemed like ECX could have just easily ran away and been fine there, but they tried to force a fight, at least Parasite did, and that caused the whole train there.
Yeah, I think it was even okay for what Tank Effect did. I mean, he got the kill on the B, he's slowing down the portal key. It was more of Imbaboy just kind of flying in, knowing that he was flying into at least 3 heroes, so a little questionable there, and that just gave Silhouette to get the kill on Nier, so not the most gold in the world, but still gold.
Speaking of portal key, obviously Tempest getting it at a really good time right there. Without that portal key, Dr. Repulsor does easily stay alive, so good job on him managing to get it at the right time and getting a big kill out of it.
Just noticing, Silhouette chose to go Firebrand before portal key. Maybe just, I think he kind of feels the same pace where he doesn't think he's going to be getting ganked a lot and can just sit here and farm, so he might just go straight Geos before even getting portal key this game.
Yeah. Interesting there. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I know that Silhouette is really reliant on that portal key for the mobility, but yeah, I guess that kind of does go back to this passive game that he just is not feeling like he needs it. For the sake of getaway, or he just wants that raw farming tool right now, and that's what Firebrand definitely would bring here. So using that to enhance his farm. Speaking of that, Pandemonium, excuse me, made his way towards bottom lane, gets the tower kill, and now he's back into the jungle. But yeah, 450 gold per minute on Panda here.
I just saw that. That's very high. I mean, it's got to. He got the no, he didn't get the tower. Wow. So. Embry doing very well farming farm pretty much everywhere. That's, I mean, almost the top farmer in the game. Oh, top lane.
Top lane, Zane is going to be dove on at the tower, and it is successful. Riptide and Silhouette doing work there. Silhouette with no portal key, still able to help to get that kill. You do see Riptide with that Soul's Bulwark here, speaking of it, and helps him pick up the kill onto the War Beast right there. And speaking of pretty good farm, obviously Riptide's continuing to be very good. And again, he was 1 versus 2 in the beginning of this game, and now he's 400 gold per minute right here. And actually, they're going back up top. The Shockwave, it just missed. Just on the outskirts right there. Embry was able to get away.
Yeah, just the stun effect just barely off there. Almost a little questionable just to not fissure first. But yeah, I mean, that's the Behe ulti down, so maybe this Legion team might want to make a push somewhere. And Icon was just finished on Embaboy, which is, I mean, it's relatively late, but I mean, he has it, so they might try to start forcing things now.
But yeah, again, no stone on Pandemonium. It's not only a very good defensive tool, it happens to be in this case against the Riptide, against the Monarch from being stopped, especially when he's using his ultimate, but the offensive aspect of it, as they do see a jump on a Tempest, by the way. Parasite coming out of the puzzle box, gets the kill. Cannonball missing, but it does get him closer, and he gets the flick off. Not only is that a good catch tool, but it obviously minuses the armor as well as the slow. So down goes Riptide, puzzle box Mauler from Parasite. You do see Monarch using that cleansing wind right there to help the speed burst, if anything. And that was just an illusion, though, so I'm not even sure if that was necessary by Monarch now that I think about it, unless he got confused, too. but
Scare factor.
yeah, made them maybe try to make them bait out more abilities or something, but they did not. And they get the tower kill. So big sequence right there for ECX, and nearly a 5,000 goal lead actually. So that catch onto Riptide started quite. Oh, that was actually more so Tempest got caught there initially.
Yeah, and just noticed Riptide picked up an Abyssal Skull, so kind of playing that supportive Riptide in a way. So they definitely want the armor this game. I mean, the armor definitely helps. I mean, they're against the War Beast and Panda and the Parasite puzzle box. So
yeah, I think Panda's the obvious there. How much he does. What was that though?
Yeah, it was just a War Beast, or I mean, Parasite's actually in the War Beast Wolf.
Oh, okay.
So he's just sitting invis, running around things.
Yep, that's a good combo. That's true. Yeah, I didn't even think about that right there, but that's obviously a powerful combination to have. Take effect. You see it once again right here. Takes over Hellhound. Man, that thing looks disgusting with Parasite inside it.
Yeah.
All infested and stuff.
Oh, Zane got a Shrunken.
Zane got a Shrunken first. Yeah, no, he has it. Goes back to his decent farm. And meanwhile, Monarch gets found. A level 3 puzzle box. Easy kill. There's that.
Top lane.
There's that Hellhound coming into play. Meanwhile, top lane Silhouette is caught as well. The face hug. Face smash more so.
Too much face.
Too many faces here, yeah. Is enough to take him out.
I kind of caught that whole thing. Just dodged the Silhouette and then was able to flick an ulti into the stop the nullstone and then just ulti and bought time for Doctor to get there.
Yeah, I was going to say, Pandemonium it's good for that sake, where he does have a stopper or a cancel himself with the flick ability. Granted, it's that is his gap closer, but still, he can remove the nullstone with that flick ability, as we saw there apparently. Riptide, speaking of flick, he gets flicked back. He uses the Eye of the Storm right here, trying to buy time. That's just not going to work though against the Doctor. Ludicrous speed easily catches him, and there's a deny on the tower. Back to the top lane. They did actually catch Warbeast, the Element of Void coming out. Now he's able to get a Shrunken head off. That's not going to be enough damage, or not going to be enough still, as the damage was too much from Behemoth right there. So, yeah, the good chunk of that damage was still superior in going through.
But that was a lot used on that War Beast, so not going to be able to team fight for a little while here, but I think it was a crucial kill because they did just lose their Silhouette. But, I mean, this game swung around pretty fast. I mean, this was a decent lead here for Complexity, so almost looks like they're kind of falling apart here, so maybe need to slow the game down a little bit and get back to their rhythm. Yeah,
not to pick on them. I mean, again, I'm sure there's the reasons for it, but I think a lot of that comes down to Riptide's involvement. He did start to get, I mean, he was 2-0-2 at a point, and it seemed like, yeah, things were actually starting to get going, but that's kind of fallen off now. He's 0-2-0 since. The Elemental Void, obviously, I guess there's a couple that he has used, has resulted in a couple of decent kills. And Silhouette's farm is still pretty good. So the more I'm looking at it, it actually seems like Complexity, it's kind of where they were. It's just Evil Corporation really excelled. We mentioned the earlier Shrunken head on Warbeast, but I think what even surprised us and perhaps Complexity was that Pandemonium almost seems like out of nowhere. It's just flash farming like an animal. And technically is in this case the Kangaroo here. The Kangaroo Panda. I've always found that interesting. Anyways, he's going into Kongor with the team, and this is going to be an easy Kongor attempt in the end.
Yeah.
Who do they give the token to?
Doctor, I would assume, right? Yeah. Okay. He's going to have his Hellflower as well, too, so he's going to have a lot of solo kill potential.
I'll get that there. Yeah, the portal key for Pandemonium, the 2,400 gold saved up. And he's level 16, by the way, so he now has that maximum damage and, the cooldown reduction and everything of his face mask here.
Yeah, I mean, he can almost catch anyone on that Hellborn team and just instant kill them, including the Riptide. That ulti does a lot of damage, so they'll have to be a little bit careful to not be alone far out.
Yeah, that's where the armor definitely is going to play a role here. The Abyssal Skull, the Soulsborg, we're talking about on Riptide, so again, it kind of makes sense why he went it, although it's maybe not his traditional build. Panda is one of these heroes that kind of makes you change things a little bit. So, although he's not a popular one by any means, again, having a lot of that physical presence, similar to like a Deadwood, you could say. But Pandemonium has that definitely more of a carry presence in the later part of the game. So I know, again, it's been a while here, but what I do remember when we had those Pandemonium days was that he would be a very, very hard carry in those late games. You know, you get the demonic on him even, you know, beast hard, things like that, really bulk him up, and he's still able to do plenty because of the scaling of the flurry especially is actually pretty ridiculous. And the fact that he gets the minus armor himself with that flick and can do a bit. So want to keep him in check here, but so far it's not happening.
Yeah, he's just pushing out the top lane. He's really not afraid of anything, so.
Doctor going to clean up the Ancients here. He did finish the Hellflower, so again, the token about 3 minutes remaining. Seems like the timing here for ECX could be coming up here in the near future of coming together and trying to actually push into the base now. All the outer towers have been destroyed. Silhouette, this is a real one currently. Parasite is down here in the Hellhound. Oh, so now they definitely know. Nope, Portal Key, she just those reactions. I gotta think that happened to be a kind of coincidence, but man, that was
good timing.
Great timing right there, whatever it was.
So I mean, the positive here for the Hellborn team is, I mean, yeah, they're down a lot, but they do still have now. The silhouette factor actually matters because they can't really team fight. They're having issues with it. So now they have the secondary split pusher that. I mean, he can get caught off, but once he gets a Shrunken, he should be pretty safe to split push on his own. So I'll have to see if he actually goes Shrunken next or chooses to go a Wing Bow or something.
Mm-hmm. There is speaking of Shrunken, finished right clicked on Pandemonium here. So Embry now, that comes back to the way of... So he has that now with the Nullstone. Elemental Void is the only thing that can actually stop him here from channeling, so.
It's a big problem, too, so. Well, actually, we don't know if the Cleansing Wind takes off the ulti yet. We haven't actually seen it.
I don't think it does, man. Like,
it is a debuff when he ultis someone. And Monarch does cleanse all debuffs and stuns. So, because, I mean, if you read Space Mass, target enemy unit to stun it for 4 seconds.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. You are.
So I really think it does. So
yeah.
I'd like to see it, or I mean, I'm sure someone in chat will go into a practice.
And so if that's the case, like there is nothing you can do about that other than crowd control Monarch or just kill it off the bat.
I mean, that would be the whole point. And Monarch's gonna stay so far in the back to just get his ulti off. So
yeah.
Yeah.
I think you're right there because again, it's similar to like the Devourer hold and the Succubus hold, and I do believe that those are removed from it. So. Yeah, that would make sense. Panda does have an Invis now. We'll see if we can make a play with it. Speaking of making plays, they catch Parasite, or maybe it was vice versa. But in the end, he goes down. And what's been a not too active of a game. Can we blow skill happening at 10 minutes? It's only 7-7 right now, and now nearly 29 minutes into this game. So not a whole lot of kills coming out. So that even makes the kills that we do see that much more impactful.
Yeah, and I mean, those are crucial kills because now they are playing this late split pushing game. So just 1 or 2 pickoffs, and they can go try to push towers, and they're gonna get this tier 1 mid most likely. Oh, and they didn't even use that token on Doctor, did they?
No.
And they just farmed with it.
That's when you know a game's really passive, man. The token Doctor is not looking to get involved in fights. Meanwhile, Panda, oh boy, that's a dead Monarch, maybe. No, maybe not, actually, because over here, Behemoth jumped in. Oh, he actually got Panda as well as soon as he portal keyed in. The timing was perfect, and now Embry, he's in a bad spot. Elemental Void catches him. He goes down, and all of a sudden, Complexity. Great sequence of events for them.
Yeah, I mean, look at that. That XP lead is totally in their favor now, and the gold lead's getting pretty small, so... definitely good use of this Elemental Void. They know they're not going to be forcing any big team fights, so getting 1 or 2 pickoffs is definitely the right decision. And mid lane over here.
Riptez looking. Oh, I don't think he's going to catch them, though.
he did get spotted by the tower as well, so
Yeah.
I think he's just going to clear out the junk. Yeah, he cleared out the whole left side, so they know they're okay over there.
But yeah, I mean, a couple of huge kills coming out, and now complexity. It does kind of go back to that which we were just saying before that all happened. The token on Doctor, yet ECX did not really look to make a play with it. They insisted on continuing to farm instead.
Yeah, and Form was actually going that same build that Probus did yesterday when I questioned the wing bow as the 4th item, but hey, he's gonna do the same thing. I mean, feels confident that he can survive, so I won't discourage it this time because I did see Probus do it yesterday and do so well with it.
Yeah, he did. And that split push, I do definitely think, again, you're looking at head-on team fights here, and the presence that this Legion team does have with the tri-carry, and I know Warbeast isn't, really flash farm like crazy, but even when he does finish the Brutalizer, his items alone are going to be pretty strong here as they try to catch Riptide, by the way, but he just was out of range. Parasite had to stop chasing, and so did Doctor as a result of that, so that's good for Riptide there. Able to escape. But yeah, you got the Warbeast and you got, of course, the Panda and the Doctor, as we're talking about. They got a lot of pretty good damage here across the board. So that's where that split push, I do think, is going to be that much more viable here for the Hellborn team, starting with that silhouette of the Wing Bow, enhancing the illusions especially. Getting that Wing Bow into an eventual Frost of Skull. I do think that build is possibly going to be the go-to here. Again, speaking of Probusk yesterday, you actually saw in the silhouette. So
yeah, he completely avoided the Shrunken that whole game, and this game it wouldn't surprise me either because he is facing a lot of physical. Just the Shrunken would be actually more looking at it. He doesn't even really need Shrunken in all honesty. The more that I look at it, I mean, really it would be for the Glacius. I mean, and maybe the Doctor. So actually, yeah, you know what? Scratch the whole Shrunken Head idea. Just don't get it. Just scrap that whole idea.
Yeah, I like the Frost of Skull instead. Or
yeah, I
whatever
definitely
else.
like the pure HP.
Yeah, because at that rate, then it's like a Savage Mace or a Frost of Skull, and I think the Frost of would definitely be better because yeah, at least getting some HP at that point would probably be for the benefit. Pandemonium, so he did finish that Shrunken. Now, his farm has scaled off a little bit. He was upwards of 500 for a good amount there. Now he's at a 430, so still impressive, but yeah, he's not... I mean, you look at those items, and that's not, again, the scariest. It's not like he's doing a ton of damage enhancement here with what he has, so... Ooh, failed rot. They're not going to find anyone, though.
Yeah, no one's going to be over there. And a little curious to why Complexity is deciding to go top. I mean, there's 2 outer towers, mid and bottom, so I don't believe they could break base at this point. So maybe we'd like to just see them rotate over to mid or bottom and just try to get the tier 2s.
Yeah, checking it out, but obviously it's expected, not really finding anyone. Again, you see Parasite taking over yet another Hellhound, so Zane and Tankafet, they're best friends this game. Constantly giving them at least one of those dogs here to go around with. And, I mean, I was going to say, that's where the Nightcrawlers are actually pretty impactful, but, again, they don't see the invis at the same time, so as long as he's careful with where he goes in the Hellhound, then he actually should have free reign here, and I don't think they've seen this one yet. So looking to see if there's any chance around here, perhaps, but probably not, although bottom lane, that's a catch on the silhouette, that is the real one. Is it enough lockdown? It is. The cleansing wind just came in at the last second, but the kill already happened. Meanwhile, Elemental Void does catch Pandemonium, and that should be at least a counter kill here onto him.
Oh, Doctor's in trouble as well.
Well,
I don't know if they're going to be able to get there in time.
And, but Doctor is getting the regen here from the Icon.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be fine.
Yeah, Behemoth ultied that. I think he figured they'd kill the Panda a little bit faster and be able to get there. So.
Yeah, so staying alive as long as he did, that you could argue that saved Doctor's life, actually. So it's a good play by him. And I think that's a trade that ECX definitely likes, killing the absolute hard carry for, one of your tri-carries here. They're just fine with that. So Silhouette, she did just get the wing bow with that said, but, in that case, clearly wasn't enough in the end as Panda and Doctor came together to take her out. As Monarch, you're dead.
Yeah. More icon charges.
Yeah, that's adding to it now. 12 here, in fact, for him. And oh, look at that, Conqueror is up, and ECX back to the Conqueror pit. So they didn't necessarily use the last token, but I mean, still worth getting, if anything, to prevent from complexity, and nice bonus you get in general from killing Conqueror. This time around, I gotta think that they probably will use it more aggressively. I mean, we're at a point in the game now where you could start actually trying to break the base here.
Yeah, I mean, even then, just go use it for a pickoff or something. I mean, they do have all the outer towers, so they're going to need at least 1 or 2 pickoffs to actually be able to break base. So, see what they try to do here. I mean, Parasite's puzzle is going to be down here in probably like 15 seconds, so they might try to do something with it up, but once it goes down, they should probably back off for at least now.
Yeah. Builderot off to the side for Bandemonium. Looking for a chance there. You see Monarch using the Noxious Nightcrawler, more of the slow and the dot effect, the actual ward effect there. The push, it's not going to be enough in the end, and they do realize that, if anything, and are going to spread out as expected now. Silhouette was pushing out the top lane during this. An illusion of hers. Demonic is finished on Riptide.
Yeah, I mean, he's 450 GPM. Really haven't been talking about him, but he's really up there in GPM. He's going to be that secondary carry this game. If he can get probably a Brutalizer or something, just get something to help him sit on the Doctor.
Oh, yeah, I think that Brutalizer would be great here. I mean, Alchemist Bones and a Demonic Breastplate. He has a lot of attack speed.
Yeah, and Brutalizer being such a naturally strong item on that hero, so definitely look to see him get that next.
Yeah, nice 3,100 gold to get it, so, not too expensive either, so that's definitely something that I'm sure he'll be able to pick up, possibly before another fight comes out here. Warbeast, speaking of Brutalizer, has one of his own. So he's looking pretty good. Again, he's got the Shrunk and the Abyssal and the Brutalizer here. Now, if they were relying on him to be the absolute carry, then yeah, this wouldn't be that great. But, again, that's not the case. He's part of this tri-carry here, so having the items he does, I think, is more than fine and acceptable. You got Doctor and Pandemonium doing their parts, and Pandemonium has been sitting on the same items now for a while. I've been noticing that, and that GPM, every time I look at it too, it definitely has gone down and down here. Now only 410. Again, it's still solid, but it's gone down by a bit.
Yeah. Doctor and Glacius trying to kill the illusion there, and they're both almost half HP from it. But yeah, I was actually just told that it does not cancel Panda ulti. It does surprise me that the Monarch ult doesn't cancel it. It does surprise me because it does say it basically takes off what Panda ulti does. So
yeah,
but yeah, guess it doesn't. But
that it might be one of I think it could be one of those special like I was talking about the whole tablet change a while back. It's the Face Smash, the Devour Ultimate, the Succubus hold. Those all got changed to where you can no longer tablet your teammates when they're in them. You have to actually tablet the enemy hero. So I think it might kind of fall under that kind of exception to the rule deal. So yeah, you're right on paper. It does seem like it should, but that's why it doesn't surprise me. Again, maybe it just falls under that. So.
Yeah, that would make sense. I mean, it is an ultimate, and I guess it shouldn't be countered in that kind of regard. So
yeah.
But yeah, all right. So now they don't have a cancel other than the Tempest ulti. So
and you're not like using an Elemental Void to cancel a Face Smash.
Exactly. So yeah, so he's gonna most likely be able to get a full one off unless it just happens to get caught in between everything with an Elemental Void.
Well, again, we play more farm though. Formless here on Silhouette. Another 3,200 gold saved up. So we haven't seen a lot of crazy split pushing attempts from him. I will say that. I mean, there still is a secondary middle and bottom towers up here for ECX. So definitely going to keep an eye for when that starts kicking in. Because again, this is even as yesterday as we've been mentioning here with Probus doing it for Fresh there against BMG on his Silhouette play. We saw that by the time the later game started to roll around, he was just constantly pressuring the base, the towers, eventually into the base, and even taking out racks at points with that split push capability. So I want to see Formless, start picking up on that. And we do see him pushing out the bottom lane here, with the illusions at least. But there is a lot of good catch, though, with that set on the Legion side, so it's definitely not easy here.
Yeah, I think he's just fearing the fact that if he gets caught by this Hellflower on Doctor, he'll just basically explode. Oh, regen on Doctor.
Speaking of it, here's a counter from Behemoth. Please try to save the day initially. Silhouette will be able to split up. They're going to kill the illusion. The real one, though, Cleansing Wind to help him get away. So that was, since we're talking about it, I mean, again, they do have a lot of catch, but Behemoth happened to be at the right place at the right time.
Yeah, I mean, even though his ulti, I mean, it really, in reality, didn't do anything. It was just, it created space for the Silhouette to be able to run away. So, yeah, he used it, and it's down right now, but they're going to try to make a pick right here on this top lane.
They're chasing. Doctor is TPing here, but he's not going to be seen, though, so he actually does get away. Riptide could not get there and chase him down, so the teleport is successful, and he may be working towards a sheepstick now, and actually just about has it. He buys a Blessed Orb right there, has... What is he doing? He's selling stuff. Okay. He's like making gold like crazy. Guess splitting up his boots and buying post haste there. Figures that's going to be important now. At this point, going against a Silhouette, that is a good item to have, especially to react to that split pushing that inevitably is going to happen here. Brutalizer, again, if we think that's what it's going to be, is coming up shortly on Riptide, if that's what he so chooses. But man, 19 hero kills at 42 minutes into this game. This really, really has been a passive game here between ECX and Complexity. And maybe with the team makeups, not a huge surprise, but with the lineups of the teams is what is surprising to me.
Yeah, because, I mean, it was just awkward the way they picked the Silhouette on this Hellborn team. They picked a full-on team fight team and then Silhouette. And that's not what you don't look at Silhouette like that. So, it's a little confusing there. And then, I mean, it's kind of the same thing with this Legion team in a way. They pick, I don't remember exactly what their picks were, but I think they went, they picked the Parasite into Warbeast into Doctor. Something like that, I think.
I'm blanking on how it actually went.
Yeah, whatever it was. I mean, they pick like a pick-off team and then into this Panda, which I mean, is like a team fighter in my opinion. Yeah, he can pick off heroes, but he's really good at locking down one specific hero in a team fight. Mm-hmm. And picks up an Axe to the Malphite. Yeah.
So there's that Behemoth start in the works now. And being the strength, enhancing his damage, also helping to tank him up. But like we're talking about, a hero that just naturally does a lot of damage, really, with that skill set. It was Parasite into Doctor into Warbeast. Yeah, I did actually double check there.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, they picked 3 cores just off the top. So I mean, they picked 4 farmers as well with their heroes. So they're just a lot of sitting back and farming.
Yeah, that's true.
And I mean, they're not even letting the Silhouette split push. They're actually just sitting behind him. So I don't disagree with that decision. I mean, if Silhouette gets jumped, they can definitely counter-initiate. And now this tower is 500 HP, so actually under 500.
You see that illusion left behind. God, again, it's never going to cease to be amazing how tough it is to kill those illusions sometimes. But they finally do. But yeah, the tower gets pretty low right there. Complexity was really pushing together. This also does go back to, remember, they did have that token on Doctor, which yet again just was not used here. So that's now, we've seen 2 token lives here on ECX that have just kind of gone through its cycle of 7 minutes and then eventually just wearing out here. 5 minutes, excuse me. That was changed a while back. But it's just hasn't been used to push in. So ECX, I mean, I guess I keep going back to that. On paper, with the lineup that they have, this is a team that ideally should be able to scale better into that very late game, but that's always so tough to say against a Silhouette who just got a Frostal Skull, I believe.
Yeah, I believe so.
As
well. Yep. Yeah. So now, oh, wow, Riptide went a Hellflower. Forget the whole Basher idea.
Okay.
So, I mean that enhances his damage a lot. And, if he can get that off on the Doctor, it could be pretty game-changing.
Well, have good items here, progression, but not using a whole lot of them yet. The sheep stick, speaking of that, going to be another part of that progression. Dr. Repulsor finishes it there. You do see Tempest 2,300 gold saved up. You'd think something like a Resto Stone is maybe on the mind of what you got, but still a bit off of that. As is that a catch? It is. They caught Glacius there. So just your support.
Well, Tankafed has a portal key.
Yeah, using it there. Yeah.
Okay, everyone's going a little interesting items here this game. Everyone's kind of changing it up.
Yeah, a little bit. Portal key there helped him get away from what could have been a big jump for the Hellborn side. Again, especially in a game where there aren't a lot of kills happening, that just really magnifies the kills that do happen here. So,
yeah, I'd really like to see the silhouette go bottom. I mean, they saw the HP of that tower. He just has to hit it twice, and it's gonna fall. So, would like to see him go over there. And I mean, Kongor is up again, so they might be looking for this Kongor themselves.
yeah, this time Complexity is feeling more comfortable about actually doing it. In fact, double damage Riptide. He's going to go into the Kongor pit. So there is a site that definitely saw him run in here.
And he can solo it as well. Actually, I mean, he's invisible in the water. They might have not seen him go in here.
Oh, true. Very true. Well, now they definitely know, though.
Now they know what the rest of it is.
There we go. Dr. Pulsar flies in. Now's the time. Elemental Void right off the bat. It is going to be canceled by the face egg, but Doctor's dead. And down goes Parasite as well. Counter from Behemoth jumping in. You do see Pandemonium going to try to do what he can, but he's lost 3 teammates already. And now he's in trouble. The face smash, but it doesn't matter. He's not tanky enough. Everyone, well, Tempest did die, but a 4-for-1 exchange. They kill Kongor. We finally have a fight break out, and it's well in favor of Complexity.
Yeah, you know what? Just what you got knows he just can't get an ulti off this game, a big one. So just solo ultis the Doctor, completely takes him out of the fight, and then it's an instant 4v5. And I don't even think Nier was there yet, so it was basically a 3v5, and they just kept running in one by one.
Yeah. But I like that decision at the same time, not only because it worked, but as you said, he's not going to very likely get a great one off. And if anything, it just made Dr. Repulsor basically useless in that exchange as well. And obviously he dropped very quickly after that. And God, it's games like this, man. They're the most passive games. One fight happens, and then it's just over. I mean, Complexity pretty much won the game right there because they just got 2 sets of racks, and they're going for a third. Yeah, there's no buyback, so they might get mega creeps. Just like that.
I mean, look at the damage that these 3 heroes are putting out. Like, yeah, it's megas, 100%. With the demonic and this, yeah, I mean, yeah. There goes the whole base.
Oh my God! What just happened? We went from a sit back to mega creeps.
Yeah, this was a 5K gold lead for the Complexity side, and it's 20K to end the game.
Oh my gosh, that was something. That was something right there.
That's one fight.
One fight does it in the end. I mean, I don't think there really was. I guess there maybe was earlier on in the game, but yeah, it's eventually happens after a very slow game there, and sure enough, Complexity dominates the fight, and then it leads to the mega creeps as we saw there. So all because of that third Kongor. I don't want to sit here and say, like, I wonder if that wasn't the third Kongor, if that was the first or second one, if ECX would have felt as antsy to try to make a play there. I mean, they very likely may have, but maybe part of their mind was, well, this is also bananas. We can't be giving this up. So that was the reason why they went in. And then that goes back to, should they have killed those previous Kongors when they didn't even use the tokens? But obviously that's a hindsight thing. I mean, they just happened to not use those. And I'm thinking too much. What do you think, Rigoste?
I think it was a good game. I think they forced that fight because, like the Golden Experience lead said, it wasn't that big of a lead for Complexity. It was barely anything. It was just an experience lead, really. So I think they just felt confident they could fight in there. And then Imba Boy just preemptively jumped in and just into a Tempest hole. There's just not much you can do. So, yeah, just a really passive game, but just Complexity. It's very old Complexity-esque, I guess you could say.
It was, yeah. It was, yeah. They definitely haven't been playing that. I mean, they've done a good job this season of staying away from that, I feel like. But that was them kind of bringing it back a little bit. But that was also thanks to ECX, you could definitely say, with how they played it. So, well, Complexity takes the first game, and feeling good about that one, I'm sure. You got Formless there, over 500 creep kills in the end. Did pretty good on that silhouette by the end of it, too. So some fun picks in that one. We'll see what happens in game number 2 now of Complexity versus Evil Corporation. Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. Game number 2 coming up next here on Hogcast.